This is the story of Ramu and Raju. Bhimsen and Pitama were twins who were born in the village of Unka Larpur, which is in Uttar Pradesh, India. They were born in 1935. Their father was a farmer named Pandit Kali Shankar, and their mother's name was Ram Devi, and they had an older brother named Chandra. They were Brahmins, which means they were the highest caste in Hinduism. Bhimsen attended school up to the 6th grade, but Pitama didn't go to school at all. Hence, Bhimsen was smarter than Pitama, though Bhimsen was the more aggressive twin. Bhimsen and Pitama became farmers, and their older brother Chandra also became a farmer. Before their father died, he wrote in his will that his land should be divided equally between his 3 children. One day, Bhimsen got married and he had 3 children. A year after Bhimsen got married, Pitama got married, though he only had 1 child. When Bhimsen and Pitama were in their 40s, they had conflict with 2 men named Jagannath and Raja Ram. When Jagannath built a dike on land owned by Bhimsen and Pitama, the twins were not happy about that. Hence, the twins destroyed the dike and they created a dam on a stream that irrigated the land of Jagannath and Raja. Jagannath and Raja decided to invite Bhimsen and Pitama over to their home. At first, they showed kindness by giving the twins milk, but then a group of men entered the home and Jagannath and Raja attacked the twins with the group of men. They threw a corrosive liquid into the eyes of the twins so that they couldn't see. Then they tied them with ropes so that the twins couldn't fight back or escape. After, the attackers grabbed wooden poles and they pushed the poles onto the chests, stomachs, and necks of the twins while the twins were laying down. They wanted to kill the twins. Next, the attackers threw the twins into a well, but a few days later, the police took the bodies out of the well. Even though the police arrested 9 people who were enemies of the twins, the 9 people got to walk free because there was not enough evidence against them. Later, the murderers bragged about murdering the twins. Just 4 months after the murder, a different set of twins named Ramu and Raju were born in the village of Shamnagara, which is about 10 miles from where Bhimsen and Pitama lived. Their father's name was Panram Swarup, and their mother's name was Kapuri. When Ramu and Raju were young, they tried to run away from their home. Their parents stopped them and they asked their children where they were going. Ramu and Raju said they wanted to go home. When Ramu and Raju were 3 years old, they saw a man named Shiv Narain. Shiv came from the village of Unka Larpur. Both Ramu and Raju went to touch the feet of Shiv to show their respect to him. However, Ramu and Raju's uncle was not happy about this. He told them they were not supposed to do this with strangers. The twins told their uncle that Shiv was not a stranger. They knew him from their past lives. Ramu and Raju made multiple correct statements about their past lives. Ramu said his name was Bhimsen in his past life, and Raju said his name was Pitama in his past life. They knew that Bhimsen went to school for up to 6th grade in the village of Marana, and they knew Bhimsen's teacher was Thakur Tilak Sinj. They knew one of them was married to a woman who grew up in Atrali, and the other twin married a woman who grew up in Bawalpur. They knew one of them had a son named Netra Kishore, and the other twin had a son named Dronakar. They knew they had 8.6 acres of land, and they knew one of them wore a ring, and they knew they had a gun and cartridge belt that they hung on the wall of their mother's home. Also, they knew they had an older brother named Chandra, and they lived in the village of Unka Larpur. The twins also knew how they died in their previous lives. They said they had conflict with 2 men named Jagannath and Raja Ram because of changes to their land. But the 2 men invited the twins to their home and they gave them milk. But then a group of people came and they threw acid onto the eyes of the twins, and they tied the twins up with ropes. But Bhimsen managed to escape. Though he decided to go back to try to save his brother, the attackers regained control. Later, they were thrown into a well. Ramu and Raju's statements about their past lives were correct, but their parents didn't care. Sometimes when the twins talked about their past lives, their parents beat them. There was a superstition in northern India that children who talked about their past lives would not live long. Also, the parents were afraid the people who murdered Bhimsen and Pitama would come to murder their children. Ram Devi, the mother of Bhimsen and Pitama, heard about Ramu and Raju's claims, and she and her son Chandra decided to pay Ramu and Raju a visit. When they met, Ramu and Raju immediately recognized them, and they cried. When Ramu and Raju met with Bhimsen and Pitama's sons, they called them sons. Ramu and Raju met with several people who murdered Bhimsen and Pitama. The twins recognized the murderers. The murderers came to see the twins because they heard about their reincarnation claims. The locations of Bhimsen and Pitama's injuries matched the locations of Ramu and Raju's birthmarks. Bhimsen and Pitama were tied up with ropes, and while they were laying down, the attackers took wooden poles and they pushed them against the chests, abs, and necks of the twins. Similarly, Ramu was born with 5 horizontal lines across his lower chest and abdomen, and Raju was born with 2 horizontal lines in the chest and abdomen. At the University of Virginia, 35% of the children who remember their past lives have birthmarks and/or birth defects in the same locations as past life injuries. If you like spirituality, science, art, or animals, then be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to turn on the notification bell.